So first of all, I want to wish all of you a very happy Thanksgiving, and I just hope it's a great time with your family. We do have work this week, but I am having you just do 2 assignments that are due on Sunday. So let yourself kind of just focus on getting together with the friends and family and having a great time and being appreciative for what you have. And uh, also, I just want to kind of talk about, to clarify what this week's work is all about. I'm having you guys watch a film that comes later than the time period, 15 that was released, and then having you watch an interview, which I really want you to watch with him, when it was re-released in 1930. But ultimately, why I'm really also wanting you guys to really kind of let sink in the relevance of D.W. Griffith and this film, The Birth of the Nation, is that we had a blockbuster hit in the early 20th century that was watched by Americans all over the country, that celebrated the KKKs as heroes of the South, protecting the South from the chaos of letting blacks go free from slavery. And the film plays into every stereotype you could put about a black man. And it integrates it with a kind of Christian texture and romanticism. Now, there's many reasons why I want you to watch this, but ultimately, I think that I see a lot of white Americans now not understand why there's still this black rage in America, these riots, and I can't speak for every event there. What's justified or not? Did the police officer protect himself in defense, or was this a kind of a lack of value of the lives of black people that would allow them to indiscriminately use disproportional force? Okay, I'm not addressing any of those cases. I think they're what I ultimately want you to understand, though, is that for white Americans who generally feel very good about their experiences with the law and with society and everything, we often can't understand why another part of our society seems to react as if their America wasn't the same as ours. And what I kind of want you to argue is that it's kind of not. I've lived in different towns, I've lived in 2 different states, but not that well traveled in the United States. But what's very clear to me is that we often think that, oh, the way my values and views are and the way that our relations are in a given area is the same as every other place in this massive country. No, and I'm not even talking just about South and North. I'm talking about regionally. I used to be married to a woman that's black and Asian, and I went into one town in a restaurant with her mom, who's from Haiti, a very black woman, and it was very clear that all eyes were on us. And I did the same time I went to a diner in a kind of agricultural area late at night, and we went, and I thought it was just me, and my friend out loud said, "Is there a problem here?" out loud to the whole entire diner, because we were a mixed couple, assuming. It was really hard to tell. We were normally dressed people. I'm just saying, I think that there's different experiences for Americans in different places, and the race relations are worse in some parts than there exist in others. And then I just want to also address this one thing. A lot of times people say, look, they should get over it. We have a black president now. Get over it. Well, people on the losing sides of things always have a harder time getting over it. Have you ever been in a relationship where somebody left you or cheated on you? It's like 6 months later you're still depressed, and then you run into your ex and they're like happy and giddy because they're having this new great life, and then they look at you and they're like, you're still upset after 6 months? How pathetic. Get over it. It's like, it's always easier for the person who got the great side of the the deal at your expense to say you need to get over it. I think we need to think about that. I mean, in the South, there's much more resentment and kind of nostalgia and thought about the Civil War than I think there is in the North. I think that that's true. And why? Because the South lost. So it makes sense the South has more to think about the Civil War than most people in the North who aren't thinking about it, because we won. Now, as a white American, what have we lost and what have we gained? What have we lost and what have we gained? We gained territory. How did Native Americans feel? Did they lose or did they win? Black Americans, okay, they were still legally separated from whites just a few years before I was born, okay, and then they've been slaves. Did they lose or were they winners in the American legacy? Mexico, did they lose or did they win? For whites, what? We won everything. We've won everything. We've been on top of everything. So I think that we need to think about that. Even this film that depicts blacks in such a negative light gets the glories of being considered one of the greatest American films and the start of American film. We whites have always won. Do we have a right to tell people to get over it, or do we maybe owe a little bit more thought into the implications of what has happened culturally and disseminated out? This is just my thought as we move forward into looking into this. Okay, and this is my biased kind of outlook, but I hope that you find it at least a challenge to yourself to look a little deeper maybe than you have been before.